llegué por una, una presentación, realmente un Quick Start o HM, como quieras llamarle. Y gracias a conocer la oportunidad, pude conocer los productos. Realmente no me interesaron en ese momento los productos. Pues un mes más tarde decidí empezar en el programa de nutrición. Empecé a consumir los productos gracias a darme la oportunidad. Pues pude controlar lo que fue la gastritis crónica, colesterol alto y entre muchos otros problemas de salud. Y no estamos diciendo que nuestro producto cura nada, pero simplemente cuando haces un cambio en tu nutrición, en tu actividad física y te mantienes activo constantemente y comiendo saludable, pues obtienes maravillosos resultados. So, bueno, no quiero cansarlos mucho con mi testimonio porque en realidad pues creo que nos tocaría una clase completa solo de eso. Yo sé que ustedes están acá para aprender, para conocer realmente por qué un club de nutrición. Realmente es una oportunidad maravillosa. Tenemos un súper invitado. Él es equipo de millonario con una gran trayectoria, un negocio muy exitoso. Y a eso les invitamos, a tener un negocio exitoso, a que realmente puedan eh, tener este negocio propio. Eso que estamos buscando todos, un negocio propio y exitoso. So, sin más ni menos, les voy a dejar con este maravilloso speaker. Eh, como les dije, equipo de millonario con una excelente trayectoria y él es Diego Tacuri. Bienvenido, Diego.
Muchísimas gracias, Gaby, tremenda presentación, muchísimas gracias de verdad. Y bueno, muy buenas tardes a cada uno de ustedes. Voy a tratar de hablar suavito, sé que la llamada es traducida y bueno, estoy muy contento primero que nada de estar en esta llamada. Y bueno, número dos, les quiero
So I am very grateful and happy to be on this call. And also, I want to congratulate you to everyone who took the time to connect today, to continue learning, and to continue learning about what is it that we need to do in our nutrition clubs or how to improve our nutrition clubs if you already have one, and how to continue learning and how to get better and to keep advancing in our Herbalife career. So congratulations once again to everyone who's here, who is ready to learn. Okay, so let's get our papers and pens ready. And today I'm going to share with you just a little bit of our secrets that have helped me personally in my business. 1 second, please. I'm going to share. Okay, I'm going to share with you my testimony very quickly. One moment, please. Okay, can you please put a number 1 in the chat if you currently have a nutrition club? All right, let's begin. So a 1 in the chat, please, if you have a nutrition club right now. Let's see. Let's see who has a club. All right. Okay, so let's begin. For those that have a nutrition club, congratulations. That's marvelous. For those that don't yet, today you have the opportunity to hear what is the reason that we can do a nutrition club or have a nutrition club, and what could happen if you learn how to do a nutrition club the right way. So before anything, I want to share once again, my name is Diego Tacuri. I started in this company. Here is my testimony. Before Herbalife, I was tired, I was stressed. I had a lot of acne in my skin. I had low energy and I used to fall asleep on the train. I worked in construction, and the reason that I started drinking this product was because I had too much acne in my skin. And before starting the products, I had tried different things. I had tried different creams, different things to clean my system, other products from my home country of Ecuador that we believe a lot in, like digestive cleansing and things. So when you don't clean your digestive system, it shows in your skin. So the only way to clean that is to have a laxative and things like that. So I had done all those different types of quote unquote remedies, but nothing was helping my skin. So my uncle one day invited me to drink the product. He saw my skin and he invited me to start taking the products. I didn't want to start it initially. I was quite negative. I was very skeptical. And I had heard of Herbalife before. And if many of you are here for the first time, welcome, welcome to the team. And if there's someone like me who before didn't believe or was kind of skeptical, welcome. I was like that too. I had heard of Herbalife. I had heard of the company. I had heard that my family was already drinking the products and doing the business, but there was a negative concept of what it was. So I'm not sure what caused or what led me to believe that what they were doing was bad, but that's how I started. And I guess one of the reasons why I was feeling that was because I would listen to what other people had to say and not them. So my uncle invited me to drink the products. Once again, very skeptically, I said, that doesn't work. I don't think that's going to work. And my uncle said, but did you try it? And he said, no, I haven't tried it. And then he said, why don't you just try it? If you haven't tried it before, let's try it and let's see what results you can get. And I even made a bet. And the bet was that if the products didn't work for me, then they had to give me back the money. And here is a big lesson for us as distributors. I think it's very important for us that we have the security and the conviction about the products. And that's why it's so important that we drink the products and we drink the products good. We develop and have our own results and testimony, because that in the market is what gives you strength, is what gives you security, is what gives you conviction to be able to speak with determination to people. And I remember my uncle was very, strict and very, firm on his belief of the product. I brought a package of 300 and plus dollars, and that's how I started with the products. It was so incredible. I remember up to today how excited and grateful that I was to have the products in my life. I remember I used to wake up at 5 in the morning to cook. I used to go on the train or they would pick me up to go to my construction job, and I was always sleeping. It was like I was like a robot. I would come out of my building, of my home, I would go on the train, I would sit down, I would cross my arms, and I would start falling asleep. And on the same way, when I used to come back, same thing. I was sleeping, or in the van when they used to pick me up, I would pray that there was traffic so I can sleep more throughout the way. I also have a back issue. I had with two discs, and I had a lot of back pain. I used to work filing down the floors. And when I started taking the products, the first thing that I felt was a lot of energy, a great amount of energy. And I remember clearly that I had to file a floor, and normally you have to be bent over the whole day. And when the day ends and you get up, you get up very slowly, because being bent over so many hours, it gives you a lot of pain and you have to do it slowly. But then I realized that that day I didn't have pain, and I was like, wow, it doesn't bother me. And I came in the car and I wasn't sleeping that day, and I would close my eyes, but I couldn't fall asleep. And the same thing happened like 2, 3 days. And I wanted to have my sleeping routine, but I noticed that that wasn't possible anymore. So 4 weeks later, my skin was completely clean and acne free. I had very low self-esteem issues for the same reason that I had, my skin so bad. I always had my head down. I was always I always had my head down, and I would tell people that I was down looking at finding the opportunities, but it was because I was so insecure with my skin and with my body, but mostly with my skin. And when my skin got completely clear, it was so exciting, and my skin was radiant, and it was just incredible. And thankfully today I still have my skin really good, really nice and clean. And to not make the story so long, once again, I used to work in construction. My friends started asking me about the products, about what happened to me, what was going on. I started sharing the tea with them and sampling the tea to my friends at work. They started getting excited about the products, and that's when I decided to take on the business opportunity. I went to an HOM, a home opportunity meeting, and I was fascinated with the lifestyle and hearing people's results, how they were speaking so enthusiastically about what the products and the business had done for them. And it's so amazing how people's lives can really change with this. And I remember clearly that I decided to become a supervisor because I saw this lady, and I saw the lady didn't speak English or Spanish that well, as a matter of fact. And she said, last month, I earned more than $10,000. And I was 20 years old, almost 21 years old, and I was in complete shock. I was in panic, and I was like, how is this possible that she can earn so much money? And I'm young and I can't make that kind of money. Like, what's going on? And that stayed in my head. And that's why I invite you, to all of you, my friends that are connected. I know very clearly that you are in the the search for the opportunity. So here is another part of something else that we have to write down. So let's write down in our notes that it's very important that I give my testimony, because your personal testimony can change anyone's life. The same way that someone's testimony changed your life, the same way that someone's testimony changed my life, that's why it's very important to know that we have to share our testimonies. And I started taking on this opportunity. I didn't have any money to invest. I had just arrived like a year prior. I still owed $17,000 from when I came to this country. I started working in the construction, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted a career in construction. But then I am exposed to Herbalife. I drink the products, I get the results, and then my mindset changes, my mentality changes, and they show me the business opportunity and how I can start doing this business, how I can start earning royalties, and how for the rest of my life I can have an excellent lifestyle working with something that initially I wasn't super passionate about, but I learned how to have passion for it, and it's become amazing. I invested, I borrowed money. I don't invite you to borrow, to ask for money, but I'm saying what I did. But you can make decisions and make those decisions that can change your life in the next couple of months or even for your whole life. So many of those times we are afraid to make a decision. I remember at that time I didn't have anything, but I had to make one purchase at that time, and it was that you did it or you didn't do it. So I borrowed a card from somebody. I told them I'm going to work, I'm going to earn this money back, I'm going to give it back to you. I did it. I made the order, I became a supervisor, and I started going to the trainings. In the beginning, I wasn't, like I said, passionate about the business, but I started going to the events, and I used to see at the events how people had their mindset and how they started becoming and acting as a business owner. So, the trainings were very important for me. That's how I started getting confidence, motivation, and at the same time, I used to get a lot of inspiration. And that's why I came out determined from those events to become a world team, to give out my flyers, to talk to people. I was able to qualify for the world team in 4 months. And then we kept working event to event, STS after STS, and focused on the next 90 days. And then I became a supervisor. What am I going to do in the next 3 months? What am I going to become in the next months? And of course, there's no doubt that the only way that we can continue going and continue developing in our business is by going to the events, is by changing our mentality. And many of the times we want to advance in the business, or we want to become entrepreneurs and business owners and be successful. But something that I understand with many years that the only way that that can happen, that I can become that successful person, is that for me to be surrounded by people with the same mindset and bigger mindsets, for people who have, be surrounded by people who have determination and bigger goals and vision. And this is when I started developing my first checks. This was the first check that I had. They told me about the royalty checks that I can get two, three, five, $10,000. And that's when I started looking. And here's another lesson, friends. Many times we want to grow in this business and develop this business quickly. But something that we have to understand is that we're new. We're new in this field. We're new in doing this type of business. We're new in becoming entrepreneurs. And many times, a lot of things are not going to come out the way that we think that they would. But it's very important to plan. It's important to have a goal. But many of the times that might not happen. I remember that I was working very hard to become a Get Team member because I didn't have any savings, any backup money. I didn't have anything to base myself to kind of, go slowly in the business. So I decided to do this full time. I decided to jump in the pool head first. And I said, okay, I'm going to become successful. And I took this decision that it's all in. And all of us at one point or another get very excited and we have that moment that we make a decision. I had made that decision. 6 months had already passed and I was a world team already, but I didn't have, the check. But 6 months into the business, there was a moment that I was determined. I stopped doing the work. I stopped going to the event. My velocity and my energy started to go down. Once again, my self-esteem started going down. I started doubting myself, not being able to do the business. And I was in a moment of desperation. I remember that I called my ex-boss and I told him, boss, can you give me work? And he said, yeah, come. I told you to not get into that business. So the first thing that he started doing was telling me, like scolding me. I remember that I got my construction bag, my construction clothes again. And I started crying at that time because it was a very moment. And I started crying and I was like, no, this is not for me. Invested so much time. I can't believe that I'm on the street. I can't eat. I'm going to go back to the construction. And I remember that I got to Times Square, 42nd Street. And thanks to the universe, thanks to God, my sponsor called me. And this is a crucial moment in my life. My sponsor calls me and he tells me, "Where are you? Where are you going?" And he's saying, I said, "I'm going to go to work." And he said, "I'm having a hard time." And I remember my sponsor told me, "But you said that you were going to be successful. Don't you remember what you told me, what you wanted, what your vision was, what your goals were, that you want to support your mom? Don't you remember that?" And I was crying, but at the same time thinking, I was like, "Oh wow, he's right. You're right." And then I came to that point in my life where I was crying so much. And then again, I built myself up with courage and I remembered my goals, my dreams. I grabbed the backpack, my construction bag, and I threw it on the floor. And I said, "You're right. I'm not going to go back to the construction." I put on my button and I dried up my tears and I got my flyers. And I tell you all of this for all of us that are connecting, and everyone who's connected here is privileged because I really don't share this part of the story, but I tell you and I share this with you because if you're in that moment that of uncertainty, I want you to remember your goals, your dreams. That's what's going to give you the strength, the motivation, and the vision that you need, that internal drive to say, okay, I can do this. I got into this to be successful. I made a decision that I want to be something big and I'm going to do it. That is the decision that I personally made. I put on my button. I started once again attending to these calls and to the trainings at the university. It was 3 months later. I became a Get team member, and I was earning from $3,000 to $5,000. I started continue going to the events, still training myself, doing 90-day plans after 90-day plans, and I ended the year as a millionaire team member. And it's absolutely incredible that all of our lives can definitely change drastically with just one decision and obviously followed by action. That's how I was able to personally change my life. I was by myself, and in this business, I was able to meet my wife, and we fell in love. We got married. We've been able to qualify for different events and trips, and we've been to the VIPs. We've had difficult moments, but we've been able to build this business together and partake in many different adventures. Here I was, very skinny. I started doing exercise. I brought my first car. And little by little, our life started to change, little by little. But something that I always have in mind and in my mentality is qualifying to everything, qualifying to VIPs, qualifying to events, qualifying to those big events, because that is the motor of our business. It's what really drives our business and what gives us security and determination that no matter what is happening around you or in your life, that helps you going to the events, helps you to come out of that event and have that mindset of let's do it. What is the next step? No matter what is happening, that's what's going to do for you. So work hard and qualify to those VIP levels, change that mindset. Sometimes we tend to think bad about ourselves and about what we're capable of, or we think bad about money. We think that we sometimes we think, or people around us think that money, is horrible, that it separates families, and they've put a lot of bad beliefs in our mind, and that all of that hinders our success. So you want to make sure that you change that mindset, because thanks to working hard in this company, we can earn money, of course, but the most important thing is that we can enjoy with our families. We can reach the point where money is coming, we can enjoy with our family. Now I have my mom with me, my brothers, my sisters, my wife, and one of the biggest blessings that I have and a huge privilege is that all of my family does this business. So thank you once again to our sponsor for opening that door of opportunity for us. And all we have to do is to continue building our story. And the best way to continue building our story in our business is qualifying to the different VIPs, working hard, and getting to those VIPs that will lead us to continue growing our business, and it could lead us to lead our team on how to build the business. This is a little bit of the different events that we've been able, and lifestyle things that we've been able to achieve. And no matter what, we've been able to, build this business. We continue building this business, and the goal is to reach the president's team member and to continue advancing. And we just want to continue growing and qualifying to the vacations. We've had a beautiful lifestyle, a very nice lifestyle, and continue growing as a team. So for all of this to happen, obviously, it's important to know that we have to construct a tool or a machine that we can base our business in, and something that we can develop ourselves as an entrepreneur in, and a way that we can develop the business and teach people how to develop their own businesses. So one of the tools that we've used is the nutrition clubs. And by developing a nutrition club, that's today's topic, why owning a nutrition club or why having a nutrition club. So one of the jobs outside that we should always be doing is contacting people directly. We need to constantly be working and exposing our business to people, not just for the product, and also, to show them the business opportunity. And something that can help us make that exposure faster and attract people quicker is through a nutrition club. And why? Why a nutrition club? Some of the benefits, so let's write that down. Let's write that in our books. Number one, the nutrition club helps us to become committed. It helps us to become committed because the commitment helps to force us to grow. Because without commitment, nothing happens. The nutrition club, it's like a serious girlfriend, like your fiance, right? If I'm serious and committed with the nutrition club, I'm going to do everything that I need to do in the nutrition club. So first is that commitment. Second, why the nutrition clubs? The nutrition club is going to help us so that we can grow much faster than with other ways. Why? Because number one, retaining a client outside, if I go up to someone outside and I contact them, I have to give them follow up, I have to give them results and see if I'm good, then I would be able to get referrals from that person. But let's say I'm not that good. So I can run the risk of having that client, but at the same time, I run the risk of not being able to give them adequate follow up and I could lose them in the way. So, working outside regularly, quote unquote, regularly, this client wouldn't be as well taken care of in the long run. So, I would have to repeat the process over and over to find new people. Now, if I have a nutrition club or an office or somewhere where I can establish my business, and this helps that I can invite a person to this place, I can give them a good follow up. This person is going to be super excited with their results, and they will be able to invite their partner, their wife, their husband, their children, or somebody that they know to the nutrition club or to this office. And they're going to be so excited that it's going to be inevitable that the people ask them, what is it that they're doing? And that makes it that automatically my nutrition club, instead of having just one client, it would have 2 to 5 clients per person that initially I bring in. And once again, what the reason for that is because the client is going to start having results and they're going to reach that moment of gratitude as to how they feel, and they start bringing people to the nutrition club as a thank you. So instead of having one, you can have 5, you can have 10. So that's another benefit. Another benefit is by having a nutrition club as a host, you can have constant follow up, daily follow up to our clients. Today, with the tools that we're incorporating of our 3 steps, it's incredible. And now the follow up is personalized. And the follow up is based on 7 days. So I weigh you on the first day. Let's see how you're doing. And then I follow up with you in the club. It's very easy to do follow up in the club since everyone comes to you, everyone comes to your location. So my job or our job or your job is just to develop yourself and develop an environment that is, nice in the nutrition club, that'll be attractive, a good attitude. And of course, we're going to speak about that in a few moments. So that's another benefit, the daily follow-up and duplication of the nutrition club. The third benefit, or fourth in this case, the fourth benefit of the nutrition club is to create a machine of volume points, a volume point machine. So how do I create a volume point machine? So according to the consumptions or clients that come, or how much products I want to move in the nutrition club that day, I'm going to make a plan as to what that how many people I want, how much money I want to make, and I'm going to teach that to my team as well and help them develop the same. So I want to see how many volume points I want to have outside, if you have volume points outside of a nutrition club, we're not saying that if you don't have a nutrition club, this business is not going to be successful. Let's not get confused. We're just speaking about the benefits of a nutrition club and how it can benefit your business and making it look more attractive and move faster. So if I sell the products outside, if I sell products or a program outside, I would sell approximately 200 volume points with the risk of that person can buy the 200 points, but they might not even drink it, right? So again, I have to start at zero with someone else if they don't continue. At the nutrition club, it's different because I'm doing the 3 steps. I'm having a menu, developing a menu, and then develop that menu according to the volume points that I want to sell to my consumers, to my clients. So my points are going to duplicate, triple, they're going to triple. And the more clients that I have, the more volume points I'm going to have as well too. And that will help, me to reach my goal. And of course, I'm going to adjust my goal as more people continue coming in. So it's all about the math, the numbers. Now that's the other benefit. The next thing that I have to establish is the goal of how many volume points I personally want to do in that month. And then divide that between by how many clients that I need, depending on how many points per average on client. That's when I have to determine how many clients minimum do I need to achieve that goal. And that would bring an extra benefit. And that fifth benefit is my qualifications. There are amazing qualifications and promotions that the company has at this moment, in terms of like the Elevate Weekend, in terms of the vacations, the Elevate Weekend that we're having in the next 2 weeks. We're going to have an absolutely amazing training. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be something for the history books. It's something amazing. So if it's your first event, make sure that you have enough memory on your phone. It's something that's going to impact you for the rest of your life, and you're going to remember that. And as Herbalife continues evolving, you're going to remember what event was the turning point for you. For those of us who've been a while in the business, is going to refresh our memories and bring us back to that turning point in our lives where we decided to go to the next.
Hasta una caja ahí, un señor que no va a abrir la puerta en fuego, está muy duro.
Why do I have to get inspired in this? So qualifying to the VIP is going to help you to achieve those front row seats. Not only will you see the speaker, you're going to be able to have that energy of what it's like to qualify to the next level. You're going to be able to experience that lifestyle that you're looking for in Herbalife. Qualifying to the VIPs is giving you a small preview of that lifestyle that's waiting for you and that the company offers to all of us. And that's why what inspires us to continue working hard at the nutrition clubs and qualifying to the VIPs. That's what inspires us to continue working for this lifestyle. And that's what helps to give us projection and vision. Why not me? So why not you? It's something extraordinary. I tell you about all these benefits because without a nutrition club, of course, the job is done every day, day after day. But if you're not so focused, if you're not playing the game, if you don't have a plan of action, if you're not challenging yourself day after day, it's going to be very difficult to achieve, experiencing these things. And the benefits Each time you're going to be able to advance a little bit faster, expand your mindset, and have a structure for your next leaders and for the team that you're going to develop. After that benefit of the VIP and all of the great things that you get to enjoy, then behind that, we have the checks. And that's, everybody, all of us want to have a bigger check, a better check. So let's see how that's constructed. Clear numbers. You're going to be able to know how much you're making in the nutrition club, how much money you were able to generate. By knowing how much money you are generating, that makes it seem very attractive so that someone else will want to do the same. For example, let's remember that we cannot record. Let's take an example that someone in a regular job is earning $700 a month. That's going to give them $2,800 a month. They would have to work from Monday through Saturday, from 6 to 5 or 7 to 5. On average, people work 10 to 12 hours a day. The only day that they rest is on Sundays. And we know that Sundays for most people is sometimes, even though it's their free day, it's the day that they're most tired because they have so many things to do. People have to wash and they have to do so many things at home. That's what people say in the nutrition club. And some people don't like it, but they have to go to work because they have their money, their safe money, but they're tired, they're exhausted. And here is when the opportunity opens for our nutrition club, in our nutrition club. And this is where the great opportunity is here. And we have to learn the quickest possible how we can expose this prospect to the business opportunity. Something that I'm learning and that I've been learning in these past couple of months in this journey, in this business, is that in the nutrition club, when you meet your prospect, don't throw the opportunity like right directly at them initially. Don't tell them and talk to them. I have this and I do this and I've achieved this. Like, don't give them the whole spiel right away. First, become friends with them. Treat them nice. Some people, I don't even tell them like my whole testimony. I just work normal. I don't talk to them about money. The only questions that we make, and if this helps, you can write it down. And what do you work? And they'll say, I work in construction. Oh, okay. You work in construction? Wow, that's cool. I imagine that it's going very well for you. And some people will say, yeah, it's going good. Okay, great. Congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing. Because you can't, start attacking what they do or don't do. For those who are saying that, work or whatever they're doing is going well, congratulate them and keep that nice relationship with them. The client is going to come back the second day, the third day, and they're going to see you. And for those who tell you, no, I don't like my job, I don't want to go, my coworkers are horrible. 99% of the people go negative to work. They go because they don't have any other option. For these people, what we can do, we can ask them, do you like what you do? No, I don't really like what I'm doing. Really? We can't tell them that just to get out. You have to take a step at a time. So you just tell them, one day I would like to speak to you. I would like to share something with you. I feel that you would qualify to do something big, something that I'm doing, but I'm not going to explain right now because I have to go or I'm busy or whatever. I leave them with the curiosity. So that's a good benefit. And people are going to come back the second or third day, and they're going to start seeing what is it that you do. Something that I recommend in the nutrition club when you want to establish your club and so that these benefits can work for you, remember, please write it down. Do not complain. Never complain. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life. It doesn't matter what's happening in your business. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. The appropriate way to say this actually would be to not mix your personal life, your financial life, your whatever's going on personally with you with your business. This can cause. So imagine if I'm complaining to my customers instead of giving them following. If I tell them, oh my God, I only have 2 people. This person that was supposed to lose weight is older. My people don't want to participate in the challenge. My team doesn't follow what I'm teaching them. Imagine if they heard that from me. So obviously people would not be, inspired by my energy, by what I'm telling them. So these are the benefits, the small benefits and big benefits that you have by having a nutrition club. So the follow-up, to be able to have a machine that produces volume points. So with having all these people in your nutrition club, you can develop different activities. You can have facial samples. You can do exercise in your nutrition club. A lot of people do dance fitness, right? They do these activities with music and you dance. So put different names to what you're doing since we can't have any registered names. For example, like Zumba, we can't use that trademark. So, think of your own names and just have different activities so that more people can come to your club and you can invite them to those activities. One of the reasons why we need a nutrition club is because that's going to be a people attracting machine. And you can have all the people in this club and see who qualifies and who doesn't qualify to the opportunity or to be on your team. So if someone says no, okay, no problem. I'm going to continue showing this to somebody else. And in that way, we're going to be able to develop a platform so that we can design what is it that we want to do in our business. And these are the benefits of you having your own nutrition club. And in the exercise, you want the same. In the samples of the facial products, the same. Everything is done with the same purpose, to attract people and to expose them to the products and the opportunity. Now, we're going to talk about money. So obviously, the more clients that we have, I'm not sure if you have seen the book where we write, or how is it the tool that you use to keep track of the people that you have, but whichever one of the tools that you do use, my suggestion is that you have clear numbers. To have clear numbers on how much your club made last month. So let's say that your club did 10,000 or you sold 10,000, 15,000 in the club last month. So that's going to help you, let's say 15. That's going to help you be able to show somebody who's interested in the business, and someone who does construction, for example, and you want to show them the opportunity, and by showing them clear numbers, they're going to be able to get inspired by the business. By you having clear numbers, obviously you're going to be able to show them, and by showing them, they're going to get inspired, and you will be able to take this person and take them to the STS or the HOM meeting or to the event like we're having today, to the call. So that's how we would develop, and that's how I personally developed the nutrition club. And that's why I decided to do this tool. And the duplication, obviously, is much more stable by you training yourself as a host and by training your team to become hosts too. And your nutrition club would be a school where your team can learn how to develop their own nutrition club. So that way, when they make a decision, they're going to have a strong foundation and knowledge, and that it's not a club that's just opened by excitement. because clubs that are opened by excitement, sometimes in a couple of months or in a year, will close. So we don't want that to happen. You want those nutrition clubs that open be open. For example, my club has been around for 12 years. That's what you want for you too, to have a long-standing business with 12 years or more. But you have to have a clear base, a clear and solid foundation. And when you're going to duplicate yourself, if your club moves 10 to 20,000 volume points, by you moving that volume, that kind of volume, you're going to be able to duplicate yourself in that same amount of volume automatically. And that would automatically make you a Get team member. So it doesn't matter how fast that happens or doesn't happen, even if it takes a long time, it doesn't matter if the nutrition club takes a while to open from your nutrition club, a new one to open. Don't worry, as long as that distributor is being trained properly, it's even if it opens 6, 7 months later, it's going to be open with solid foundation, with stability, and they will be absolutely ready and an expert in working in the nutrition club. So obviously it doesn't have to be with everything like how I do it, but for me, like I said, it's a lifelong thing having a nutrition club. You don't have to stay in the club, the nutrition club, your whole life. But the concept of owning a nutrition club and developing into nutrition clubs, we want it to be a lifelong thing. So we want to open clubs, the clubs to be stable, to change their hosts, to develop more hosts, but for it to be a long-term project. And those are all the benefits, my friend, that have helped me to pass, from supervisor to world team, and you can become, world team and get two, possibly 2 years, you might become a millionaire team, or maybe in 5, 10 years, you can become a millionaire team or 15, it doesn't matter, but depending on the personal goal that you have. But the idea is that you see the benefits, you absorb the benefits and see what you want to do in these next coming years and in terms of your Herbalife career. Now, how do I do a nutrition club? Once I know the benefits that I'm going to obtain from the nutrition club, what is it that I need to do, or what would be my job to make sure that this happens? Because speaking of it is amazing, it's great, but a lot of people don't even get to 2,500 volume points or 3,000 volume points. And I'm not, trying to attack anyone personally. Please don't feel that way. I just want to say that if we don't develop a steady tool, or if we don't have, a steady business, is because we haven't learned how to do that. And things that we are here, that we're connected, that we're learning, that's exactly how we grow and how we develop and take advantage of all these tips. So how am I going to make this happen? How do I start my nutrition club? Before anything, you want to not avoid thinking that you need a lot of money. Obviously, you do need a base of money, but not that you need an exorbitant amount. You don't need to have absolutely everything to start. If you have it, great. But this was my nutrition club when we first started. Look, that was all the product that I had in that second image. That was all the products. I had $1 million mindset, but my reality was totally different. I think there were only 200 points in that inventory, but I didn't have more. That was my reality at that time. So we do need a base of products to start serving people, obviously, but that doesn't mean that you have to wait. There's actually bad news here. We're never going to be completely ready. There's always going to be something missing, something more that we can have. So the same thing here, same concept. Start with what you have, with where you're at this moment. And that's how I started my nutrition club. We put the products there and we said, let's go. And this was how the club was. It was decorated and had its tables, its tablecloths, its pictures. and the bar. The bar was just a wooden, it was just a shelf, pretty much. That was the bar. And be careful because sometimes they would, put their arm weight on it, and sometimes the bar would bend over. But I had the right attitude, and that's what it's about having the proper attitude. That's all, that was all that our club was. And we had a big sign that said Herbalife. So that's all that we need to start. Once I started, obviously, little by little, the club is going to start reaching its goals. So then what is the next step, or what is the next goal? Let's say, okay, I started with one table. So now my goal is that I want to have a second table or a third table. And that's how I'm working step by step, goal to goal. And I'm going to work on building my club bigger and better. This is my current nutrition club. Look, this is what it looks like now. This is how it is now. These are the shakes that we're doing. This is how the ambience is. Obviously, it's fancier. It looks nice. We have TVs. We didn't have any of that before. Now we actually have a blender. We didn't even have a blender before. Little things like that. We made a new menu, an updated menu. So all of this is part of the growth process and the process of transformation within our nutrition club. And once again, it's step by step. If you have the money to invest and to do something, big and fancy, great. If not, don't worry. Make yourself a budget and just work with what you have and work to continue growing. If something is going wrong in your nutrition club, double check your budget, double check how much money is coming in, double check what's missing to be able to balance yourself out and continue growing. And then duplication is going to come easy. Make a basic menu, nothing too complicated. Keep it simple, nothing too long and complicated that no one can do. One of the things that I loved about Herbalife was that in Herbalife things are quite simple. They're very simple, magical. They're not complicated at all. You don't need to do too much or nothing too crazy. And at one time, I was trying to be very perfectionist. I was trying to be super creative and have all these different crazy ideas. But I've come to learn with time that all of that is not necessary. The more simple that you can keep things, the more basic that you can keep things, the easier it is to duplicate in people. Why? Because people, by seeing it so simple, they're going to say and think, wow, that's all I got to do just by doing the shakes like that, just by doing this like in this simple way. They come, they drink it, they see the menu, everything is very straightforward without complicating ourselves. And then when you have your club, that's the way that you well, this is the way I work, and you can duplicate the same. So that's the message that we give to our team members. The easier and simpler it is, the easier it is to duplicate. Of course, for all of this to work, we have to start working very hard on ourselves. 99%, Jim Rohn has taught us that 99% is about working on ourselves. Why is it important to work in me? If I already have all this going on, if I have this going on as a volume producing business or tool, and I'm able to, do this to teach my distributors too, because by becoming better, I'm going to be able to attract more people by speaking to more people, with the neighbors, with the dogs, with the rabbits, to everybody. Why is that important? Working on you. Because many times what this does when you have a nutrition club and you don't have the right attitude, people will come, but they'll also leave and they won't come back. And why won't they come back? It's very simple. Because if this happens to you, ask yourself and self-reflect, what is it that I'm doing wrong? What is it that I'm saying wrong? Or what am I doing that are making people not come back? Please think about that if it happens to you. And I invite you every weekend, every Saturday or every Sunday, whenever you close your business, your club, ask yourself, okay, how did this week go for me? Evaluate at least once a month. How many people of those that I've invited are coming back? How many are here? How many have not come back? How many have seen the business? How many have stayed? Because I brought them people, person after person. And sometimes I would, be very direct with people and they wouldn't come back. And some of them I've lost credibility with, and I haven't been able to, regain any kind of relationship with them because I wasn't prepared or I did something wrong. So all of these comments is part of my personal experience. I want to share so that it doesn't happen to you. So just work on making these minor changes so you can, make those changes and attract the right people to the business. I was super timid. You saw the picture in the beginning. I was super shy, super timid. And if somebody, would hit me, I would cry and not even raise my hand. And that's how I was like brought up with that kind of mindset. And that's why I love the Herbalife system, the Herbalife business, because if you want to learn, there's so much to learn. And little by little, you'll have the opportunity to learn. The next step, you as a host, just make those minor changes. You have to go nicely dressed, not super fancy, obviously. You don't want to go exaggerated or too flashy, but you want to make sure you look clean and attractive. Yes, not overly exaggerated. We're always learning, we continue learning. And now in the Future Presidents Team Retreat, in the 1,000 Royalty Retreat, we have to know that, or I learned that we always have to, be presentable. And now that we're training with Eric, we always have, we have to look good, we have to be presentable and have people to realize and give off that vibe of being an entrepreneur and a business owner. So the Nutrition Club is the same. We work on our attitude, we work on how we are with people, how we treat people, avoid making enemies in the club. I've seen it that sometimes people get very excited and they forget certain basic things and they start gossiping. And all of those things we have to leave on the side. Anything negative, if you're communicative, we have to have, integrity and a base foundation of conversation and know that all that we talk about in the clubs is about health, is about motivation, about positive things, and anything else we have to, leave to the side and just give people energy. If people come and they don't like to work, don't worry. Tell them that it's going to be a great day. Give them something positive. If people come early to your nutrition club, the first person who needs to be super motivated is you as a host. Super motivated, super excited, super passionate. So that way, when people just see you, they smile and they get inspired by that positive energy too. And they'll ask you, what do you drink? Of course, you want to make sure that you drink a great tea. I drink a mega tea. And that tea is what most of my clients drink too.
Súper loco. Entonces yo soy
For
bien
me,
loco.
it gives me a lot of energy. It gives me, a lot of energy in the club. So all of these little things, if you are new, if you're thinking about opening a nutrition club, learn about all of these things. And another thing that I invite you to is that you learn the marketing plan. It's very important that you do learn the marketing plan and how we get paid. Sometimes we're not able to grow in this business because we do not know or are not clear on the compensation and the marketing plan. Many of us don't know it. So it's very important that you take your time. If you have a nutrition club after the rush hour or in the evenings after you close, practice the marketing plan, write it down on a piece of paper, draw it out again, explain to yourself and practice how to explain earning money. Make your mentality get bigger. You don't know how that's going to help you because you're going to inspire yourself by writing the numbers. And your mind is going to be expanded and you're going to be inspired by seeing those numbers on paper. And if you don't know it, please learn the marketing plan. If you're shy, if you're introverted, go with your sponsor. Tell your sponsor, hey, we are business partners. You're never going to leave Herbalife. I don't plan to leave Herbalife too. Can you please help me? I want you to train me. And I did that in the beginning. I would sit down and we would write on the board, practicing the marketing plan. And we would teach each other. And it was that back and forth. And that's how we were able to duplicate. He learned how to show the marketing plan. And I also learned the marketing plan more and how to teach other people. In case you don't know, I know you know, but I invite you to practice that you know everything. Out of a 10, you'll be confident as an 8 or 9. If you don't have a clear plan of what you're showing people, it's going to be, that's what's going to happen. You're going to speak to people a little bit and they will not take the decision because maybe you made a mistake or left something out or said something wrong. So that's why it doesn't matter what is going on. You have to believe and think that great things are going to happen. Have that faith that great things are going to happen and guard yourself with the testimonies of the president's team and other leaders. And that's something that inspires me. That's what constantly I see, I envision, I put it in my mind. Okay, if they did it, we can do it too. I know that they have more experience than I do. I know they've gone through more difficulties, but at one point or another, they decided to give that next step. So us the same way. That helps us to stay motivated and not fall into a routine or into the negativity. So always do this ritual about thinking about your goals and envisioning starting your club. Okay, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do to get to the next level? If I sold 2,000, what am I going to do to sell 4,000 or 3,000? Every month you want to put yourself that goal. And yes, my friends, so these are all the different benefits that I shared with you, different tips that you can implement into your business. And remember, the big club, fancy club will come, but remember where we started. And if you're starting like this, that's okay. Start with what you have. And the only way, obviously, to be able to do something different is that you take that first step, is that you make the decision to start walking and you have the desire. But if you want and you don't take that first step, it's going to be very difficult for anything to happen. Imagine that simply by taking that first step will help you to change the life and the direction of your business.
Hola chicos. ¿Dónde está? A ver, ahí sigue todavía Diego. Dale, Diego. Te perdiste. Sí, se fue. Ya. Bueno,
he got disconnected. All right, my friends. So just to finish off, that next step, okay? Give that next step. Don't be afraid.
Siguiente paso puede ser que sea la
Never
diferencia.
afraid. This next step can make a difference in your life, in your business. That next step that you do can transform your family by completely your life completely, and not only life, but your family's life and many more. That's the beautiful thing about what we do. And the only way that we can be successful and help people is by other people being successful. And you don't know how many people you can, how many lives you can change. And I think that I'm going to be forever grateful that I was shown this opportunity. Remember the construction and lunch. I eat in 30 minutes. I used to eat super fast, sleeping. I had this routine. I was developing healthy habits, developing, not a good lifestyle, but thanks that someone was able to do what I said, to make a decision no matter what. And today, thanks to someone who made that decision, I can share my story. And I want to say that we're just getting started. We plan to do big things. We're always going to be here in Herbalife. And we are ready and committed to continue going, continue moving forward, no matter what. So let's go, guys. Let's take that first step, take that determination, and you don't know what amazing things are in store for you. Thank you so much for the invitation. And here I pass on the mic to our MC. Thank you so much.
Ok, chicos, muy bien. Saludos, saludos. Muy bien. Diego, excelente clase. Felicidades. Un aplauso.
Excellent, Diego. Thank you so much. Let's give a virtual round of applause. Where are the next hosts of Nutrition Clubs and next President's team members? Thank you very much, Diego, for your story. Thank you for the tips that you shared today. All right, guys. So we know that a lot of you were already connected to the class with Eric Worre. So let's get focused for the next few weeks and the activities that we have to do.
Vamos a repasar las promociones. Arquímedes me ayuda con las promociones. Por favor, esto es algo increíble, ¿ok? Esto, chicos, miren, tenemos 15 minutos para hablar de esto. Pero esta parte es sumamente importante en nuestra carrera de Herbalife, que todos y cada uno de ustedes que están haciendo este negocio deben de tener en sus agendas cada evento que hay semanal, mensual y cada 3 meses, ¿ok? Y ya ustedes saben que tenemos la extravaganza a la vuelta de la esquina. Espero que todos tengan su ticket. Tenemos el Elevate, que está ya en un par de semanas. Y obviamente tenemos nuestros STS de mes a mes y tenemos martes y jueves talleres en línea para todos ustedes que están de cualquier parte del mundo, ¿no? Que es increíble, ¿ok? So vamos a repasar qué es lo que está aquí a la vuelta de la esquina para nosotros. Tenemos, obviamente, tenemos nuestros regalitos. Cuando ya cumples años, solo tienes que hacer una compra de 50 puntos y la compañía te manda tu regalito, una botella bien hermosa. Siguiente. Y esto es más que todo para los nuevos. Chicos, por favor, prestenle atención a esto que es increíble. Recuerden que ahora lo único que tienes que hacer es 250 puntos para ya comprar el 35. O sea que ahora te toca más fácil, vas a ganar más. Pero si tú nada más haces, ¿ok? 250 puntos, 3 meses seguidos, te mandan esta mochilita súper chévere. Yo quiero verla, no la he visto. No sé quién se ha ganado, pero es bien chévere. Si haces 500 puntos, 3 meses seguidos, la compañía te manda tu mochilita, una pesa inteligente para que tú hagas tus evaluaciones. Ya no tienes que tener un cuaderno para que tengas control de tu gente, ¿ok? Y aquí todo lo llevas desde tu teléfono y una libreta personalizada para ti. Eso es si eres un distribuidor nuevo, ¿no? Y bueno, chicos, tenemos este evento, no es un evento, son talleres de liderazgo que estamos teniendo. Arrancamos ya la primera semana de abril. Hoy fue nuestra segunda llamada. Yo creo que todavía pueden entrar para entrar a la Liga Premier. Y la idea es, chicos, de que todos trabajemos con este objetivo, ¿no? De que lleguemos a ser parte de este grupo élite que está haciendo que las cosas pasen. Y lo único que tienes que hacer es, obviamente, registrar 10 nuevos primeros niveles, cada uno de ellos con 250 puntos de volumen, calificar 2 supervisores de primer nivel y en el nivel que tú estés vas a tener una sección especial VIP y bueno, y vas a tener un entrenamiento especial con Eric en la extravaganza. Ya en los eventos en Elevate, ya hay gente que se ha ganado, van a estar siendo reconocidos ya. Vas a tener 2 entradas gratis al FCL, perdón, a la extravaganza. Y bueno, tiene, como les dije, trato VIP en el nivel que tú estés, reconocimientos especiales y un regalo exclusivo de la Liga Premier, ¿no? Entonces, me encanta esto porque todo el mundo puede trabajar por ello. Lo siguiente que tenemos es de que esto es una promoción de tus uplines, de tus presidentes. Esto no sé la verdad hasta cuándo vaya a estar, porque ya es bastante. Me imagino que se va a hacer algún ajuste en esto. El que aprovechó, lo aprovechó y el que no lo aprovechó, ni modo. ¿Ok? Pero mira lo que pasa. Esto es como un challenge, como un reto al que más recluta. ¿Ok? Y cualquiera el que está en línea puede ganar esto. ¿Ok? Lo único que necesitas hacer es, para estar en este grupo específico, para ser parte de este reto, necesitas reclutar mínimo 10, ¿ok? 10 distribuidores. Cada uno de tus distribuidores tiene que hacer 100 puntos, documentar 100 puntos de volumen, un mínimo, ¿ok? Y el premio se lleva el que más distribuidores haya registrado ese mes. En este caso, pues vamos a hablar de abril. El que más registre en abril se va a llevar $2,000. ¿Y cómo lo puedes hacer? Lo puedes hacer usando diferentes mecanismos. Puedes hacerlo de primer nivel todos. Lo puedes hacer en chorizo. Lo puedes hacer como tú quieras, siempre y cuando no haya un supervisor y siempre y cuando sean del mismo mes. No importa cómo tú registres a estas personas. Y con la clase que tuvimos con Eric, los que ya estuvieron, me imagino que tomaron muchas notas y todo el negocio que se va a hacer si nosotros nada más llevamos a cabo con todos los tips que Eric nos dio el día de hoy para poner gente en nuestra organización. ¿Ok? Siguiente. Y bueno, chicos, estamos en la extravaganza. Ya estamos en la extravaganza, ¿ok? Los que ya compramos los tickets, ya estamos en la extravaganza. Recuerden que Herbalife nos dio una preventa. Y si no aprovechaste la preventa, ¿ok? Asegúrate de adquirir tu ticket. Y si ya tienes tu ticket, perfecto, felicidades. Ahora la pregunta es, ¿a quién más tú puedes llevar a la extravaganza? Recuerden, como el nombre lo dice, extravaganza. Vamos a ver la foto en grande, ¿no? O sea, vamos a ver el verdadero Herbalife, lo que es de verdad el negocio grande que nosotros tenemos detrás de ese producto increíble que tenemos, que estamos tomando todos los días. Siguiente. Muy bien. Bueno, este mes tenemos puntos dobles, señores. Hasta 2,500. Hasta 2,500 tenemos. Esto va a ser para que vaya para tus VIPs, que son del Zafiro, Esmeralda, Rubí. Esto te ayuda, ¿no? Para que califiques a los VIPs. Aquí están los ejemplos. Si tú vendes 2,500 documentados, más el bono, tienes un total de 5,000. Si vendes 5,500 más el bono, tienes 8,000 puntos. Y así, si vendes 8,000, o sea, no importa cuántos puntos hagas, si con un mínimo de 2,500, a ti te van a dar un bono de 2,500 puntos que van a agregarse para tus VIPs. ¿Ok? Siguiente. Y bueno, aquí están nuestros invitados especiales. Tenemos varios invitados, ¿ok? Varios. Tenemos un club de chairman, Amber. Ella es una persona increíble, ¿ok? Vamos a aprender. Ella tiene una estructura que me fascina. Ella y su esposo tienen una estructura de crear negocio fascinante. Ustedes van a aprender bastante. Luego tenemos a Mary. Mary creo que no viene otro 30 acá. No recuerdo el nombre de ella. Pero igual, todos los distribuidores son personas que tienen éxito increíble, que tienen estructuras fascinantes que nos van a ayudar a crecer en nuestro negocio. tenemos a la doctora Rocío Medina, ya saben ustedes, y tenemos un invitado especial que nos va a estar hablando de liderazgo. Estos 2 días, este fin de semana que vamos a tener, para algunos 3, y estos eventos de verdad a nosotros nos hacen una diferencia a largo plazo, a largo plazo. Esto hace que tú tomes decisiones como ya nos explicó Diego en su historia. O sea, cuando tú vas a un evento, tú de pronto escuchas algo, de pronto te identificas con algo, de pronto nada más es una palabra que te hace clic y tú tomas una decisión de que va a ser un cambio para el resto de tu vida. O sea, ¿tú te imaginas qué impactantes son estos eventos? La verdad es increíble, ¿no? Es increíble, increíble. ¿Por qué? Porque tú de la nada puedes estar como quebrado, sin plata, sin saber qué hacer. Asistes a un taller de estos, que son talleres de liderazgo, o sea, no estoy diciendo de que va a pasar así, ¿no? Pero puede ser que sí, o sea, puede ser de que escuches una palabra, pero 3 días, o sea, en 3 días vas a aprender tanto, tanto, que es muy difícil no aprender a hacer el negocio con 3 días de liderazgo. Y bueno, si ya estás en el evento, felicidades, ¿ok? Ahora busca a ver quién más va contigo. No solamente vas a ir al evento, sino que también tenemos unos bonos, tenemos cash, chicos, para las personas que ya trabajaron el evento. Felicidades, un aplauso para ustedes, porque van a recibir plata, ¿ok? Asegúrate de haber hecho esta calificación. Que a propósito, antes de explicar la clasificación, la calificación es la misma para la extravaganza, ¿ok? Porque ya estamos extravaganza. Abril, mayo y junio. Ya estamos en la extravaganza. Este volantito lo vamos a actualizar, pero son las mismas, ¿ok? Si vas a ir a la extravaganza y necesitas plata extra, asegúrate de hacer estas calificaciones. Abril, mayo y junio, ¿ok? ¿Qué es lo que va a recibir usted? Si usted es un supervisor o un equipo del mundo, si haces 3,400 puntos, un total de 10,000 puntos por 3 meses seguidos, con 2 productores calificados o un supervisor, te dan $150. Si haces más, si haces 5,000 3 meses seguidos, para un total de 15,000 puntos por 3 meses seguidos, con 2 constructores del éxito, perdón, productores calificados, que estoy tan acostumbrado al éxito, o un supervisor, te ganas $225. A mí la que más me gusta son los 2 últimos. Si haces 10,000 3 meses seguidos, 30,000 con 2 productores calificados o un supervisor, $450. Si haces 11,700, 35,000 puntos. O sea que estos, los que están aquí, los últimos 3, los de 25, 30 y 35, primero van a estar de VIP en Herbalife. Van a ser Zafiro, van a ser Esmeralda. Estos VIPs reciben tratos especiales y tienen fiesta, tienen comida, regalos y todo. Aparte de eso, más plata. Mira, más plata, tu ticket te sale gratis, hotel gratis. Con esa plata puedes comprar tu vuelo de avión si vas a ir en avión. Y bueno, es increíble, ¿ok? Pero solamente tienes que estar clarito en qué actividad tienes que hacer tú todos los días para que ganes esto. Siguiente. Y chicos, estamos trabajando todos para las vacaciones del 2025. Este año pues nos vamos a Atlantics y el próximo año nos vamos en un crucero increíble. Los mundos solamente tienen que hacer 110,000 puntos. Los Get 130, los millonarios 150 y los presidentes 170,000 puntos, ¿ok? Recuerden que tú tienes bonos especiales por cada asociado preferente que reclutes, que con un mínimo de 100 puntos que te compren, te dan 500 puntos hacia las vacaciones. ¡Wow! Nosotros hemos hecho, ¿qué he hecho? Este mes tenemos 2 o 3, creo que ya tienen más de 100, entonces ya tenemos 1,500 puntos ya para las vacaciones. Y si haces un distribuidor, ¿ok? Te van a dar 1,000 puntos. Si haces un supervisor, te van a dar 2,000 puntos. Y si haces un supervisor activo nuevo, te van a dar 7,500 puntos que van para tus vacaciones del 2025. Muy bien. Y bueno, siguiente, el próximo año tenemos un evento de liderazgo, regalías 1000 para los tabuladores, que es un evento de liderazgo una vez más. Tenemos invitados especiales, ya muchos de ustedes los conocen, Antonio Colmenares y Gisela, que son unos líderes estupendos que van a estar entrenando a liderazgo. Siguiente, maestría de clubes de nutrición. Recién lo tuvimos el mes pasado, ahora el próximo va a ser en septiembre. También hay calificaciones especiales para aquellos que les gustan los tratos buenos, los VIPs, ¿ok? Si haces 50,000 puntos de volumen y un supervisor, vas a calificar, tienes tratos especiales. Si haces 40,000, si haces 30,000, si haces 20,000, asegúrate de estar clara con esta promoción para que tú puedas promocionar y con tu gente y para que tú, sobre todo, si estás asistiendo a estos eventos y te gusta estar de VIP, que tu calificación sea la correcta y no te falte nada, ¿ok? También puedes adquirir tu ticket, ahí está el QR code para que compres. Ya estamos acercándonos al fin de año. Recién comenzamos y ya estamos acercándonos al fin de año. Bueno, esta es una gala espectacular de reconocimientos, ¿ok? Puedes calificar, puedes trabajar para ir, lo único que tienes que hacer son volúmenes básicos, si eres un millonario, 3,000 puntos, si eres GET, 3,500, un supervisor, 2,500, y bueno, aquí ustedes van a recibir, van a ver reconociendo a los TAPs que han reclutado, a los TAP que han vendido, a los TAP, a todos los nuevos calificados a los siguientes niveles. Y bueno, es una noche increíble donde que ustedes van a disfrutarlo súper, súper bien. Recuerden que tenemos un bono extra, un bono adicional. Oye, ¿no crees que será mucho? Hay mucho dinero, ¿eh? Mucho dinero, bastante. Hay que aprovechar, chicos. Estos bonos son extras, son adicionales. No tiene nada que ver con Herbalife, no tiene nada que ver. O sea, es solamente de la organización. Si es que aprovecha para que te ganes este bono cash, ¿ok? Que la compañía, que tus uplines están dando. Y lo único que tienes que estar haciendo son mantenerte activo por 3 meses seguidos, calificar nuevos supervisores. Ok, aquí es un ejemplo claro. 2,500, 3 meses seguidos, perdón, 6 meses seguidos y 4 nuevos supervisores y recibes un bono de $225. Y así sucesivamente va subiendo. Mientras más volumen haces, más dinero ganas. O sea, mire, puedes llegar a ganar hasta $900 si haces 10,000 puntos. Y si ustedes se dan cuenta, todos los que están haciendo volúmenes altos, ya de 8,000 en adelante, esos están calificando a los VIPs, a los bonos de la compañía y también a los bonos de nosotros, que es bastante. Es mucho, chicos, es bastante. Y bueno, estamos a la vuelta de la esquina. El próximo mes tenemos unas mini escapadas increíbles, ¿ok? Vamos a estar en Los Poconos 2 días, 20 y 25 y 26. Chicos, ¿qué es lo que tienes que hacer para estar? Creo que todavía pueden calificar este mes, no estoy seguro. Sí, aquí dice abril, ok. Entonces, todavía puedes calificar. 2 paquetes exclusivos. Uno, si haces 2 supervisores y te mantienes activo, ok, te ganas 2 días y una noche. O sea que te vas un día antes, pasas una noche allá, convivimos súper chévere toda esa noche, tenemos algo especial para los calificados y al siguiente día. Y si quieres ser solamente un día, haces un supervisor, te mantienes activo y te vas en un día. Vas un día, o sea, haz la cuenta que te sales hoy tempranito, tienes todo el día para estar allá, conviviendo, comiendo, disfrutando con los líderes y ya te regresas en la tarde. Ok, entonces estos son calificaciones chiquitas para que ustedes aprovechen, lleven a su gente, de pronto puedes llevar a tus hijitos, a tu pareja, si no han salido, pues es tiempito, ¿no? Tú sabes, para que salgan y se pasen un lindo fin de semana. Siguiente. Y estamos ya trabajando fuerte para este evento increíble que vamos a estar en Pereira. Tenemos 2 eventos fuera del país, que va a ser en Colombia y otro en Florida, del 11 al 8, enero 22 al 25. Y esto es para todos que califican al equipo del millonario Millonario 7500, si te haces si te calificas como presidente o si un presidente califica un diamante o cambias de K. Esto es simple. Si logras calificar un nuevo millonario durante el mes del periodo de calificación de enero a diciembre, ¿ok? De enero de este año a diciembre del próximo año, pues esto está todo pagado, ¿ok? No tienen que pagar nada ustedes porque todo está incluido en este viaje. Y por último, todos estamos aprendiendo a trabajar esta aplicación que está bastante avanzada, bastante. Muchos de nosotros estamos muy atrasaditos en esta parte porque no le estamos aprovechando. Tenemos que aprovechar la tecnología, tenemos que dedicarle un tiempito a aprender, porque aquí está, cuando aprendamos a usar esta aplicación bien, nos vamos a ahorrar un tiempote, un tiempezazo buscando links, buscando volantes, buscando esto, buscando el otro, sin saber qué decía al nuevo distribuidor, al nuevo contacto. Ahí está todo. Y Herbalife cada vez más está agregando más y más información ahí. Entonces, chicos, los que no están en boards, por favor, dedíquenle un tiempo a aprender esta aplicación. Y para cierre de mes, tenemos dos eventos súper espectaculares. Primero tenemos el evento de 2500. Asegúrate de estar en este taller con Ángel Orellana, que él es uno de los líderes más grandes aquí en Nueva York. Y luego tenemos el evento de 5K, de 5000 puntos con Sócrates y Lina Valencia, que es un evento de liderazgo, solamente liderazgo. Los que no han estado con Sócrates en estas llamadas, ustedes quieren estar, por favor califiquen estas llamadas porque vale la pena. ¿Ok, chicos? Y y bueno, vamos a estar haciendo unos eventos súper espectaculares con Sócrates y Lina. Chequen, por favor, pongan en sus agendas que esto se va a hacer y necesitan ustedes tomar ventajas. Ya tuvimos la primera concientización con Sócrates, que muchos aprendimos bastante. Ahora lo vamos a volver a hacer, ¿ok? Ahora otra vez, ahora va a estar con Lina, pero ahora va a ser del 15 al 21 de abril a las 8 de la noche. Esto es una noche de concientización. Prepárense, por favor, organícense bien sus agendas para que no se pierdan nada. No se quieren perder ustedes esta agenda. Y luego tenemos las noches de sabiduría, que empieza del 6 de mayo al 14 de mayo. Esto igual es a las 8 de la noche. Estos son, la primera semana es concientización, ¿ok? Y él nos va a concientizar de por qué la gente está enferma, ¿no? ¿Por qué tenemos los problemas de salud que hoy en día tenemos y cómo tomar el producto correcto, ¿no? Y el otro, pues, es liderazgo, ¿no? El liderazgo, porque ocupamos para nuestra vida y si queremos crecer en este negocio, tenemos que aprender. Así es que, chicos, anoten eso en sus agendas y no se vayan a perder por nada del mundo. Estamos para nuestro STS, tenemos es en mayo, creo que es el mayo 18, no recuerdo, sí, ahí está mayo 18, ok, tenemos calificación VIP, 2 VIPs, VIP 7500, tienes un trato especial, reconocimiento, foto con el orador y quieres ir VIP platino, ok, 7500 más un nuevo supervisor. Un nuevo supervisor, vas a tener un asiento especial en mesa redonda junto al equipo del presidente. Vas a tener una foto y también almuerzo rapidito. ¿Ya? Entonces asegúrate de tener tus tickets para el STS y asegúrate de estar súper agendado para todas las llamadas. Y yo sé que hay muchas llamadas, yo sé que hay muchas, nosotros estamos corriendo de arriba para abajo, a veces, yo sé, ¿ok? Pero es bueno, ¿ok? Es muy bueno de que todo esto, lo que está sucediendo con la compañía, con la organización, es bueno porque nos está moviendo y nos están presionando, nos estamos presionando a hacer las cosas diferentes. Más sin embargo, pues tenemos que organizarnos bien para no perdernos nada, para estar en todo. Ok, chicos, muchísimas gracias una vez más Gracias a Arquímedes, que él es ¿cómo es el AB que está de atrás y nos pone la música, y nos pone todo, al MC, gracias Gaby, y gracias a Diego que hizo una clase espectacular. Muchísimas gracias a la traductora Carla que está haciendo una traducción increíble. Gracias, felicidades y nos vemos el día jueves en la Universidad del Éxito. Bye bye.